the top 5 NBA players like right now, and where Luka ranks. But before I get there, man, I can't help but to think, and I'm not anymore a Jordan LeBron guy. Like that argument. Matter of fact, I'm in the damn barbershop, just getting my damn haircut, and my barber gets a call, and it's a guy, and they get into this LeBron Jordan while I'm trying to get my damn haircut.
It never stops for some
And the
people.
barber, and then he asking me,
was it Willie calling him?
No, no, but it was a guy. Matter of fact, he's a former professional baseball player, MLB. He actually wants to be on the show.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give him a shout out. But anyway, and my barber's like, "Oh, hold on, man. I got a sports broadcaster right in my seat. Ask him, man, because he's my barber. He's a LeBron guy, and this guy's a heavy Jordan guy. So then I get into this fucking meaningless conversation and argument. And my point to this is, I just honestly, man, it's my opinion or whatever, but I've never seen the league with this much fucking talent in it. It just hasn't been, not at one time. And it's incredibly hard to really put an actual top 5 together. I made an attempt to do so.
Okay.
All right. And then you tell me where I'm wrong here, all right? So, top 5 players in the NBA right now, this season. It's not a legacy thing. This is not about what happened, 2, 3, 4 years ago. This is this season, top 5 in the NBA, all right? Coming in at number 5, I have Jayson Tatum. All right.
He was incredible on Christmas Day.
He was incredible on Christmas Day.
And he's played at a high level all year.
But
yeah, I mean, I literally, he's always, I mean, I've watched a lot of Celtics basketball. He, is a big Brad Stevens guy. And, Tatum was one of those guys who always capable of making great plays, but I also felt like, he had a little bit of the choker in him.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's just gotten better and better and better. And then, then Christmas Day, like, he literally was unbothered by the Bucks. Like, it didn't matter who was near him, who was trying to guard him. He was just taking the shots he wanted to take and hitting them. Mm-hmm. And it looked so easy. So, I mean, virtually unstoppable.
Very true. Now, to show you just how crazy the league is right now, first of all, he's the leading MVP. Go get it. Just right now, if the league ended today for whatever drastic COVID-30 reason, he's the MVP. And I have him at number 5, and there's just no way around. I can't put him any higher. And right now, Jayson Tatum, he's on the number 1 team in the East, number 1 team in the league actually, and he's averaging 31 and 8. All right, 31 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, which is not too shabby in itself. And he's a solid defender. He's taking a step back as far as defensive efficiency this year, but he's not a bum. He's still good. He's solid in that category, so that's good. He's still a good two-way player. All right, so that's number 5. Coming in at number 4, I have KD. Now, Kevin Durant is a guy last year that we really got on, and he was out of our top 5 or top 7 or whatever that was, number that we did at the time. And I felt like KD hasn't been a guy that's ever had awesome leadership, but he's a guy that had poor leadership, but he also got swept, and he couldn't figure out the Celtics defense and things of that nature, which coaching had a lot to do with that as well. But this year is totally different. All right, KD is extremely balling. He's averaging 30, 6, and 5. Now you may say, okay, well, why you have Jayson Tatum's averaging more points and 1 more points a game, and he's averaging more rebounds. So how is that possible? And his team is better. Well, KD is shooting a whopping almost 57% from the floor, which is incredible. All right, and 37 from 3, both better than Tatum. All right. He has his team.
And KD's still a guy that essentially shoots jump shots.
Yes.
To shoot that percentage.
To shoot that percentage. It's crazy. He has his team. He has the hottest team in the league right now, 9-game winning streak. They play tonight. We'll see what happens. They play the Hawks, which is a decent team. All right. And he just has his team on a roll. He's playing phenomenal, and he's the sole reason why. All right. His team is playing phenomenal, along with coaching changes and the depth of that team.
Yeah. I mean, no objection to where you're going.
Okay.
The Nets, it's funny, like the circus around them has gotten quiet,
Yeah.
and the play has gotten good.
You know why? I think they're just taking a page from KD's book. You just hit a ball.
Yeah. Collectively,
I don't care. We don't care who's going to lead a team, who's doing this, and who whatever. We're not talking about trades. We're not talking about parties. We just hit a hoop, man.
Yeah.
And that's taking a page off their best player off that team.
Maybe his style of leadership has finally found its place.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't know. But yeah, whatever they're doing is working.
So that's number 4 at KD. Now this is where it gets really tricky at. It gets really tricky here because at number 3, I put Giannis. Now, this year, if you ask me in a vacuum who's the best player in the league, in a vacuum, I'm going to say Giannis. But Giannis has taken a slight step back this year. His shooting percentages are down, like so much down where you have to compare it to his rookie season. That's how down they are. His free throws and his 3-point percentage, things of that nature, right? He's taking a step back. But he's still, even with that, he's still fucking amazing. He's top 5 defensive efficiency, all right? He's averaging 31 a game, along with 11 boards and 5 assists. So, I'm not taking him off the list. But, he's averaging, 24% from the three-point line. He's taking more threes, so that's not good. And he's shooting less, and his free throws has just plummeted. I mean, his free throws has just plummeted this year. He's going to have to correct that for the playoffs. So I have Giannis coming in at number 3.
He looks a little tired to me. Like he does not look. I mean, he's playing hard.
Yeah.
But he looks a little tired, a little labored. The energy and the play is not quite as effortless as we've become accustomed to. And
there's a lot on his back. You know why?
Yeah.
Where is Chris Middleton?
Yeah. For sure.
He's nowhere to be found. I mean, he's been battling these injuries that almost seems chronic to a chronic degree now.
Yeah.
And who knows if he'll be back full players this year. And Giannis has taken that entire load from Chris Middleton's absence.
And you also like the thing with Giannis because he doesn't shoot it particularly well. There's not a lot of easy points.
Yeah.
When he goes to get his points, there's an energy outlay to that.
Oh yeah.
There's collisions, there's bursts to the basket, all that, and I think that contributes a little bit to the labor. He needs the rest of that team to, particularly in Middleton, to get healthy and start playing better. But yeah, I mean, no disagreement.
At number 2, I had to go. I wanted to go, didn't want to go, but I have to go Joel Embiid. All right, wanted Joel Embiid to be number 1. The only reason why Joel Embiid is not number 1 is because he has missed a couple of games this year. That's literally the only reason. Joel Embiid is the number 1 defensive rated player in the league right now. Right, number 1 defensive efficiency, defensive rating. He's number 1 in the entire league. But he's also leading the league in scoring. I mean, the NBA is basketball is offense and defense. He's number 1 in both. You know what I mean? He's average. He's over 50%, 53% from the field, which he shoots a lot of jump shots as well, but he's also in the paint. All right, he's shooting 34% from 3, which is nothing to sneeze at. Free throws, he's above 80, so that, he's awesome from the free throw line, and he's having a hell of a season for a team where their second best player has missed the majority of the season in Tyrese Maxey. We haven't seen him in months. James Harden, he's plummeted. Not plummeted as a scorer. He's become a solid distributor of the basketball, but he's a minus on the defensive end, and he hasn't scored with the same. But we know about the team. But Joel Embiid comes in at number 2. What do you think about that pick there?
Yeah, I mean, he's really held that ship together. I mean, Harden, he's in a bit of a decline or redefinition of what he is as a player, but he also missed a chunk of time too. Yeah. And Embiid's really been the only constant kind of holding that group together.
Yeah. And it's only been a couple of games he's missed, but you have to knock him because the fucking race is so tight. And at number 1, I have Luka Magic. Now, Luka Doncic. Now, this to tell you how crazy the season has been. Last night, I'm watching the Philly game. As I told you in one, I watch every dribble. Embiid drops 48 points last night. And lost, but he scores 48 and crazy rebounds and blocks. And I'm like, damn, this is the MVP. What are people talking about? Why are they not mentioning him for MVP? What is going on? And I'm in my mind, I'm about to make a Facebook post and this and that, and somebody tagging me. And Luka is like going crazy in this first quarter. And he ends up with 60, 21, and 10. It's like,
and, you went back to the, where do you characterize this as a regular season performance? I think we need to revisit that. When Kobe had 81, it was a blowout.
Yeah. Against the Raptors.
This guy puts up 60, 21, and 10 in an overtime win where they had to score, 9 points to tie the game in 40 seconds, roughly?
Every single point.
Yeah.
They
did everything he had to offer just to win this game. Yeah. I mean, that, again, it's not a high-stakes playoff game, but there's certainly no fluff in that stat line. Everything was needed.
Everything was needed.
Even
incredible. It comes down to they needed to the missed free throw.
Right.
Like, how often do you really see that executed?
Yeah, exactly.
He misses the free throw on purpose, gets the rebound, puts it up. Like, what are we doing? This is outrageous. This is Luka magic, literally.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jimmy. She said Luka is her guy. That's a good guy to have.
If you're gonna pick a guy.
If you're gonna pick a guy, I mean, it's a good guy to have.
He literally, when you watch him, he feels unguardable.
Yeah.
Like there's who or what can you do to disrupt him? Yeah. He's so big. And he's got the off cadence, dribble action. He's got all the step back shooting, and he shoots it at a high level. He can get to the line. He's going to knock down. There's just offensive, and it is a deadly passer.
He has. I remember there were like words when James Harden was in Houston where he had mastered offense.
Yeah, I said that.
I don't think that was necessarily true. Like he was a really great and for his time a transcendent offensive player. I really think Luka Doncic has mastered the offensive. It looks different. It feels different than what James Harden did. It's similar. It's almost the same. Yeah. But it feels different. This feels more valuable. This feels better. It's just, I don't know. What was the term? Is that recency bias?
To a degree, and I was one of the guys, and I'm not a Harden fan, but when I say he mastered basketball offensively, he had built his game in a way that it gave you nothing you could do. If you gave him space, he shot lights out. If you got up into him, he would, swing arms to draw contact and fouls. He wasn't the quickest guy, but with timing and tempo, he would get to the rim. And he was a good enough passer that if you wanted to go all out to, throw two guys at him, he wasn't going to throw the ball in the third row. He was going to find a guy in the corner. And I think the parallel is stylistically there's subtle differences, but it's still there. He's got a game. Luka is bigger and uses his body more to just get people on his hip and kind of control tempo. But again, they're both in this place where it's like, whatever you do, I'm okay.
I have an answer.
Yeah.